Here we go, live in Los Angeles on a Thursday. It is the Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. The NFL never disappoints. Tom Brady's back. Now Bruce Arians is gone, or sort of gone upstairs. As the world turns, the Shield constantly delivers for us. There's been a lot of drama in 2 years in this organization with Tom and Bruce and retiring and unretiring. And, I wasn't shocked by it last night when it came down that Bruce Arians is moving upstairs. I'm like, it was a bumpy flight. Successful.
But they got there. They landed.
That's right.
Fantastic fashion. I mean, this March also has been the craziest March of all time. It's official now. It's over, so we can officially say this has been the craziest March ever.
So let's try to explain what happened. Dads don't lie. That's the great thing about retired people. They don't have a boss. Tom Brady's dad doesn't lie. He tells you what he thinks. A lot of times when he tells you what he thinks, Tom Brady will go out and say, Dad, stop talking. Dad, he didn't know what he was talking about. But when Tom Brady's dad said about a week or two ago or 3 ago or 4 ago or whenever it was, and he said Tom really didn't want to retire, there were other reasons why he wanted to retire, Tom Brady did not come out. Tom Brady did not tell his dad to be quiet. Tom Brady didn't say a word because dads don't lie. Tom Brady didn't want to retire. So let's start with that premise. Dads don't lie, right? They don't lie. They got nobody to answer to, especially Tom Brady's dad. And Tom didn't rebuke the comment. Tom didn't want to retire. He retired. There was a lot of reasons. So from there, let's start with that as the premise. 3 very strange things happened. And you know that I don't believe in coincidences. The NFL is great at managing stories and covering stuff up. Yeah, I mean, the NFL sometimes doesn't tell the truth with everything. We all get the game. These are power players and power brokers, a powerful league. So 3 strange things have happened recently. Tom Brady retired and unretired. So the single most organized human being in the history of the NFL, not named Peyton Manning, Mr. Detail, retired, unretired, very sloppy. That made no sense. Totally off-brand. Number 2, it's an offensive league. All quarterbacks want an offensive coach. I mean, Belichick got dumped by Brady. The second strange thing, Byron Leftwich didn't get this job. What? You own the Bucs. You'd give your quarterback an offensive coach. Every NFC playoff team last year had an offensive coach. Third strange thing, Bruce Arians went upstairs. Bruce Arians about 2 things: football, coaching, and cocktails. He's not an upstairs guy. Those guys work hard. It's no fun. Bruce, a fun guy. So 3 weird things happened. Brady got sloppy with his retirement. Got to be a reason for it. Leftwich didn't get the job. There's got to be a reason for that. Todd Bowles already been fired as a head coach, although I do think he deserves a second chance. And Arians goes upstairs where he has no interest working. He joked this morning at the press conference, hey, I can go have cocktails earlier. All 3 are very explainable. Why did Tom retire and unretire? Because he never wanted to retire. There were things that were, it wasn't perfect. Things needed to be worked out. He removes himself. Number 2 is Tom and Byron Leftwich are really working well together. Tom's like, if he's coach, I don't get my meetings with him. He's got to be coach, right? And so Leftwich is going to get a job. He's going to get a head coaching job. But Brady didn't want to invite another offensive guy in the building. All the good coaches have been scooped up. It's March. All the good coaches are gone. All the good coordinators are gone. So Tommy's like, let me just keep my guy. And then number 3 is explainable. Arians went upstairs. Arians had to be removed. But he really has always been way ahead of the curve on hiring black coaches, women in the building. It has meant a lot to Arians. You've got to hire Bowles. And by the way, I think Todd deserves a second chance. But Todd is going to let Tommy and Byron do all their offensive stuff and not interfere. Folks, A couple of weeks ago, there was that Rich Orenborg story who used to, he knows people inside the rooms in the NFL, and he's like, Arians would come in. This was a few months ago, and, Leftwich and Brady would be working on the game plan, and Arians would come in there and red marker it and say, no, and it was driving him crazy, and everybody denied it immediately. Smoke, fire, you've heard the old saying. Then, as of last night, it becomes brand protection. So Brady doesn't want to look like a bully. He doesn't want to look like a bad guy. This guy's going to be a billionaire. So he comes out with a nice IG. Bruce is the best. Cheers, brother. I love you. That thing had been crafted carefully. Arians, he wants to save face. He didn't want to look like he got rolled. And so he's like, I want to retire. I've known it for weeks. And then the Buccaneers, they want to make Tom happy. They don't want to make Bruce look bad. They owe him a lot of money anyway. And the truth is, everybody looks good when Todd Bowles gets the job. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers said, we'll hire an African-American coach. We don't need a Rooney Rule. This is our guy. And if he wasn't our guy, Leftwich is our guy. So it makes the Bucs look good. It makes Arian look good. It makes everybody look good. But this is all brand protection at this point. The coach doesn't want to look steamrolled. Brady doesn't want to look like a bully. But here's all you need to know about the NFL. I just want you to think of this for a second. If you think I'm wrong, and there's probably reporters out there saying, Cowherd, I know what he's talking about. The world has changed in football. Aaron Rodgers this offseason, 3 words, got his way. Matt Stafford, got his way. Russell Wilson, get me out of here, got his way. Deshaun Watson with 22 civil cases, got his way. Tom Brady got his way. Last year, Dak got his way. That is the league. All these quarterbacks, some with baggage, some old, some young, some good, got great contracts. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott. By the way, Lamar Jackson is going to get his way. And 3 months, Kyler Murray is going to get his way because that's what we have now. Star quarterbacks get their way. I mean, folks, if Brady retired and said, I'll only come back if Arians is the coach, you think Bruce moves upstairs? Come on. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. I mean, this is obvious stuff here. But Arians is beloved, should be, great guy. He's got a heart of gold. He's a wonderful coach. He's a wonderful guy. But you and I have watched all this. You and I have watched this whole thing. We've seen Bruce calling out Tom. Superstars don't like to get called out. I got news for you. Not like I know a lot of superstars, but you don't want to get called out. Joy doesn't want to get called out. I don't want to get called out. We're not superstars. If my boss was mad at me, take me upstairs and yell at me. Don't call me out publicly. This thing's always been a turbulent flight. Now, as Joy said, it's a successful flight. The plane landed. It's a beautiful plane. We've seen this thing be bumpy. We knew that Tom and Arians were different cats, old school, the constant evolver. They just landed the plane last night. And Brady goes to his IG, and Arians has a press release, and Bowles gets a second chance. It all landed right. They kind of figured it out. They greased it. They the fire trucks came out on the tarmac a little bit, but they landed the plane. It's all good. Everybody wins. Bruce doesn't look bad. He got his money. He's a good guy. He absolutely has been so pro Todd Bowles. It meant a lot to Bruce Arians to get Todd that job, and he was also going to get Byron Leftwich a job. But Tommy, once Leftwich and Brady really started working well together, it makes Arians a little more disposable. And remember, Tom came to Tampa for 2 things. Weapons, he got those practice 1, and a say. And that part has been gradual. First 7 games last year, he didn't get a total say until after the bye a couple years ago. Then he said, no, it's my offense. They hummed and won the Super Bowl. The say part, the power part, that's where the flight got bumpy. That's where it went over the mountains, started getting a little windy. The say part. The weapons part, Tom got day 1. They have first practice. He's like, I didn't have these kind of toys. This is great. That part he got day 1. He's always been happy about that, especially when they gave him Gronk. But the say part, which he didn't have in New England, and he complained about it publicly, he wanted more of a say in the offense. That part, he got more than he got in New England, but it wasn't as much as he wanted. And now he's got all of it. And they're going to be really, really good. And they were really, really good with Arians. So this is not in any way besmirching the amazing job Bruce Arians did. It's not. But we're watching a new NFL now. All the quarterbacks get their way. A guy with 22 civil cases against him just got a $230 million contract, all of it guaranteed. You don't think Tommy's going to get his way? You don't think Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers knew Devontae Adams was out. He said, I don't care. I want to be the highest paid quarterback ever. Handcuffing Green Bay. What are you going to do? Once the league, about 7-8 years ago, made this league so offensively leaning and so quarterback-driven, the NFL is becoming the NBA and international soccer. You just give Ronaldo what he wants, or he leaves. You give Messi what he wants. You give LeBron what he wants. And I don't have a problem with it. I don't go to watch the coaches. You don't go watch the coach. As long as the star's a good guy. I think LeBron is a good guy. I think Tommy's a good guy. I think Tommy's a bad guy, but he's Michael Jordan. He's Kobe Bryant. He's Peyton Manning. He is competitive, crazy competitive. All the GOATs are. All right. Interesting. There's a lot of stuff on this. I got to show you the Brian Windhorst. I didn't know who he was years ago, but he covered LeBron like in high school. He was like the first reporter to cover LeBron. Now he works at ESPN. LeBron and Windhorst have had kind of a falling out because, Brian is going to call it as he sees it. It doesn't always go well with LeBron's people. And very interesting opinion yesterday by him on what's happening with the Lakers and